here to claim what is left of you.
He's here and always watching, the one you shouldn't have killed. Greetings from the fire, and from the one you should not have killed.
My biggest issue with the FNAF series has been logical inconsistencies. I mean, sure, we don't know the full story, so things could make sense in the end, but with what we currently know, there are a lot of things that don't quite fit into place. One of the biggest inconsistencies, in my opinion at least, is what we're exploring today. Greetings gamers and welcome back to Top 10 Gaming. I'm Connor Munro and this is solving one of FNAF's biggest issues. Let's do it. Now, having inconsistencies is understandable and it's to be expected. Anything that has this kind of lore and this amount of content is bound to have a couple flaws. Take How I Met Your Mother for example. They have Barney driving in multiple episodes, but then later have Ted teach Barney how to drive after some of those moments would have already happened. Or in Supernatural, when in season 2 Dean mentions never having been to the Grand Canyon, yet 6 seasons later Sam remembers a trip when they went there when he was 4. This was admitted to be a mistake on the writer's part, but discrepancies like that are to be expected when talking about a series as big as this. But the inconsistency I'd like to address here is the nightmare animatronics, and I've had an excellent idea that would explain away the whole kerfuffle with them. As we learn at the end of FNAF 4, Crying Child was in a coma for the entirety of the main FNAF 4 game after getting chomped by Fredbear, meaning that every animatronic we see in the main gameplay would be taking place inside of Crying Child's head. So all the nightmare animatronics along with the Jacko animatronics would be created in his mind. And since Crying Child dies at the end of the game, getting the plug pulled or just giving up on fighting, there wouldn't be any way for anyone else to know what these animatronics looked like. Yet they still appear in future games like Ultimate Custom Night and FNAF VR. So what gives? What's the deal? How could this be possible? And I have a satisfactory conclusion that is bound to make some of you mad. And isn't that the best kind? If we go back to a previous theory video entitled We Were Wrong About Golden Freddy on this channel, we can see that I proposed the idea that Crying Child is actually the one you should not have killed. Not many people seem to be happy with this idea in the comments section, but hey, that's alright, I'm a big kid now, I can take it. However, if Crying Child was the one you should not have killed, it would help explain the discrepancies with these animatronics in such an easy way. First, let's go over the evidence again as to how the Crying Child is the one you should not have killed. In room 1280 of Heracles Hospital, something evil is keeping a man alive. A man with gruesome burns all over his body and an iron will to live. The man in room 1280 is the third story of the 5th Fazbear Frights book Bunny Call. The story, written by Andrea Wagner, revolves around a man with, as the book summary described, horrific burns all over his body. His organs are exposed, his face is missing, he has burn marks everywhere. This man was taken off life support years prior to the story, yet somehow is still able to live. He's still alive. The story ends with this horrifically damaged man being taken to a Fazbear Entertainment distribution center where he promptly explodes violently. This story is obviously meant to represent, or very well be, William Afton, who did end up escaping the FNAF 6 fire, but was horribly damaged because of it. The story was meant to show us that William had a soul possessing him, the soul of a young boy with curly black hair, rosy cheeks, and an alligator mask. And the description of the young boy with curly black hair would also fit the Crying Child. This also proves to us that the one possessing William was a male and not a female, so it couldn't be Cassidy. This also explains why we were so confused about the lines discussing the one you should not have killed, since they all refer to him as a boy if it includes a gender-based pronoun. Example, I have seen him, the one you should not have killed.
I have seen him, the one you shouldn't have killed.
There is no reference to any form of female, which we thought made sense because Golden Freddy is a male character, but why would they be referring to a female spirit as the animatronic they inhabited? Also, how could Cassidy possess two things at the same time, especially when one of them is a human? When Crying Child died, there was also no animatronic around for him to possess. It would make more sense for him to possess William since he would have to be in the vicinity after signing the papers to let his son go. Everything lines up for Crying Child to really be the one you should not have killed, keeping his father alive after seeing all the horrific deeds he's committing in an effort to bring him back. Or just because he's his father, after all. He brainwashed Elizabeth, so why not brainwash Crying Child as well?
I am remade, but not by you, by the one you should not have killed.
I am fully convinced that Crying Child was the one possessing his father and keeping him alive, since if that was the case, it explains the other appearances of the animatronics that only Crying Child would know about. Since Ultimate Custom Night also takes place in William's head, which can't be a coincidence given this series now. That's how the nightmare animatronics were able to appear and torture William, and that's why the characters who mention the one you should not have killed, Mangle, Withered Chica, Nightmare Freddy, and Jacko Chica, all share some form of nightmare version or connection to FNAF 4. There are also multiple lines that refer to your situation, such as "this is how it feels."
This is how it feels, and you get to experience it over and over and over again, forever. I will never let you leave.
Which could be referencing being hunted down by animatronics, but why would someone who was killed by William reference gameplay that another character has to deal with? Instead, I think it's a reference to your current situation, where you're in a coma and this is what it feels like. We also know that the sound disc was not to blame for the nightmare animatronics, since Nightmare Freddy himself says that he was now given flesh.
I am given flesh to be your tormentor.
And the disc can seemingly only alter the appearance of something, meaning it would already need to have at least some form of flesh to alter. These are all hints about who is really possessing William, and it also explains how they're appearing in the next games. Since after waking up from his coma, William could have easily written descriptions down, or created them himself when he was possessing the hard drive that gets scanned to help make the animatronic AI in Help Wanted. Him seeing these animatronics in his coma thanks to his son's spirit is the reason these are in the game, because William brought them in with him. It's insane that it took me this long to figure out, but also I never saw this pointed out in any of the comments on these videos, so it's something that I'm sure a lot of people managed to piece together. It's an elegant solution that easily fits one of the most frustrating elements of the games into place. Now, however, I just need to figure out how Michael knew what Nightmare looked like, so he could draw it in the survival logbook. That's a mystery I'll never quite understand, really, since he would only be able to learn about it if William told him after he learned about them, but Michael burns in FNAF 6, so that should be impossible, because William doesn't learn about them until Ultimate Custom Night, which takes place after FNAF 6. And Crying Child couldn't have told his brother since he died in FNAF 4 after seeing these animatronics, so how could he know? Let me know your thoughts down below. There we have it, friends, solving one of FNAF's biggest issues. What do you think about this theory, and does this help explain anything else from the series? Because I feel like this is the way it's supposed to be. Be sure you let me know down below. Thank you all so much for watching. I have been in Shower Me Connor Monroe, and I'll see you in another video. Excuse me. I'm Connor Monroe, and this is solving one of FNAF's. FNAF. Big Nerfs at Freddy's Nerf fights. That's 7. Oh boy. Okay, you might have to add some clips from the games for the lines. I was talking too fast. So you can add like clips from the games of like the actual like dialogues and stuff. Wait, I didn't do the outro. You gotta put the script back up. Okay, there we go.